Good evening and welcome to Community with me, Melissa Sandfield. I am here tonight with three beautiful ladies. They are smart, they are intelligent, and they are all doctors. They're doing so much for our community that they just wanted to come in and share the good news. I love it, I love it, I love it. They are here and I will introduce them and they're going to tell you a little bit about themselves and all the great things that they're doing. I'm very proud and honored to have them here and they inspire me and they're young ladies that we should look up to in our community. So, first to my left is Miss Dr. Valencia Walker, MD.
Hello,
Welcome,
Melissa.
welcome.
Thank you for having me.
And second, we have Dr. Latanya. Hi.
Yes, nice to see you.
Yes. And I'm going to look at my notes because I love your name and I don't want to. Nanachka. Dr. Nanachka M. Chumley is here. Let's give them a hand, the ladies. Tell us all about yourself. Just give us a little background. Each lady can go.
Sure, I think it's actually a great trio. We all complement each other in the work that we do. So I'm a neonatologist. I take care of any baby that has to be in the intensive care unit or requires surgery on their heart or anything like that when they're first born.
Oh,
and I
wow.
work at UCLA.
Oh, wonderful. Yay. And next.
And I am an obstetrician gynecologist, so I deliver the babies that potentially end up in neonatology.
Wow.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
And I have been in practice for approximately, 10 plus years. I work at Kaiser here in Los Angeles at West LA. And happy to be here.
I'm happy that you're here. Thank you for coming. Yay.
I'm a family practitioner and urgent care physician. I've been practicing about 20 years, but I'm only 21. And I did do deliveries. Some family practitioners do deliveries, and I did up until about 8 years ago.
Oh, wow. Well, that's wonderful. Thank you all for coming in. I understand you're doing so many great things in the community. Tell us all about your association.
Sure. So all of us are members of the Association of Black Women Physicians. It is an organization here, started in Los Angeles in 1982.
Wow.
I was not around when the organization started, but part of what makes the organization so appealing is that it has that longevity and has been in the community and been in the community for so long. So it's definitely an honor to hold the position I have. And then both Dr. Hines and Dr. Chumley are former past presidents of our organization.
That is
So very
wonderful.
rich history.
Very rich history. So the trails that you blazed have set the way for Dr. Latanya here. Yes. Yes. So tell us about your role with the association.
I'm currently the chair for the Sister to Sister program.
Yes.
And what we do is it's a strong mentorship program for high school, pre-med, undergrad, medical students, residents, that entire pathway that leads you to medicine.
Yes.
We are both mentors and mentees, depending upon where you are. So
Yes.
if you're a high school student and you're strongly interested in going into medicine, then, well, there is an undergrad student who's preparing as an undergrad, a pre-med to get in.
Right.
And those two can talk with one another with regard to what you need to do.
Yes.
And then there is the ultimate student who is the medical student who believes they have made it to the promised land, and yet
Yes.
that's just the beginning.
Just the
Right.
And then once they recognize that, they become residents, and then they really see the true reality of the work of medicine. And then, of course, once you finally cross over the threshold and become an attending, yay! I think life gets better, but it's difficult in its own way, but
Yes.
very rewarding. So our program, which is a signature program for the organization, we do a lot with regard to helping young people to get into medicine, but inspiring just high school students and students with regard to education and advancing themselves. And then there's the charity sponsorship that we do over the past 33
3 years.
years, and we've given over $650,000 with regard to
Wow.
scholarships to students ranging anywhere from, a long time ago we used to give book scholarships and they were $500, and we've gotten up to anywhere between $3,000 to $5,000 sometimes for a student.
Wow.
And we give it directly to them so that they don't have to worry about the school
Right.
subtracting it from the financial aid,
Right.
but that they get a chance to use it the way that they see fit. And you're broke as a student. It doesn't matter what kind of student, you're
Right.
broke.
Right.
And so that is just wonderful. And we just had our benefit where we gave 7 scholarships, so I'm very proud of that.
Yes, we're going to talk about that benefit that I missed. And I understand it was a wonderful benefit.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Maybe I'll be able to come next year.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely can
yes.
make that happen.
Yes. Dr. Chumley, can you chime in for us?
I'm actually a past president, and I want to put it out there that I'm the first osteopathic physician and surgeon to be a past president, and I was a past
Wow.
president in 2006. So I blazed that trail, and I'm currently member at large. And one of my favorite things that I do with the organization and for the organization is I participate as one of the speakers in our Speakers Bureau.
Absolutely.
And we go out to the community in the past, whether it was at a church or at a health fair, and give lectures, presentations, information, for example, on diabetes and high blood pressure, and I do it in both Spanish and
I was going to
English.
say, make sure you tell them you are bilingual.
She's bilingual, y'all.
So, I mean, but one of the
It's
things that's
wonderful.
really important is that, you know, we're the Association of Black Women Physicians, but our goal really is to serve in communities that don't always have access.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
we really believe that if you, as a patient or as a person in your community, knows what's going on and understands, and you can, for lack of a better word, work the system, right?
Yes.
Even with the healthcare system, you have to know who to talk to and how to talk to them.
Right.
And understanding, knowing your body, knowing what the symptoms and signs are, and
Yes.
being able to get out front. And we bring that education directly to them on a volunteer basis.
That is wonderful. This is a great thing to do. I see that you have a fire in your heart for the career that you've chosen, and the hard work has definitely paid off. You know, the knowledge that you're able to pass on to others. You know, it's very respectful, and it makes you credible when you can go out and speak to people and say, yes, we're going back, we're giving back. You didn't just
Absolutely.
become doctors and turn your back and say,
No question.
let everyone fend for themselves. You're saying, yes, we are reaching out. Yes, we want to. I mean, I must say, in many professions, if you don't reach back, that profession may die out. We may not have any young black women or black men if someone does not reach back and grab them.
I think that's very true, and I know LaTanya, as the mentoring chairperson, you know, we preach those numbers to our students all the time. When you look at the percentage of African Americans going into medicine, though there may be quote unquote more numbers, the percentages aren't really changing.
Yeah, it
and the
hasn't
one
changed.
thing that we know for sure is that more than, you know, say someone who may be of a different culture, we are more likely to go back to our communities and work in our communities and serve
Absolutely.
our communities. So we appreciate, and the students keep us on fire.
Oh, there's no
Yes.
question.
You know,
There's no
they come
question.
out and they work hard and they ask questions and they make it fun for us. So it goes both ways. And I think another thing that Dr. Hines mentioned, mentoring is something you need your entire life.
Yes.
Like to have these two wonderful women sitting
Yes.
next to me, being president of this organization, you know, I grew in so many ways, but to be able to pick up the phone and call them or have them call
Yes.
me and just say, hey, what about this, what about that?
Right.
And it's enriched my life and my career
Yes.
outside of just being here in the organization.
No question, because the people you meet in this organization are first and foremost real people. I think sometimes, especially if you go to the doctor, and you guys know, is that, you know, the doctor is there. I don't want to come across as they're on some different echelon. I mean,
Right.
they're humans,
Right.
but you know, a lot of people don't necessarily have a connection with a physician like we
Yes.
do. We probably know more physicians in our lifetime than anybody,
Right.
and that's just because of the organization and obviously in being a physician. Most people, that's not their daily life.
Right.
And so the opportunity to be able to get into the community and say that you too can do this, that it is not impossible to be a physician. It is not impossible to be a lawyer, although we choose medicine over law, or a business person. But ultimately, that encouragement is the pipeline that we as women of color need to see. Because, you know, every undergrad, you'll see there's a huge number of pre-meds that come in. And yet, how many folks
don't
actually
make
make
it.
it out?
Right, right.
Now, that's everybody. But you can imagine, with regard to African Americans, the number is awfully small.
Yes.
And so many times it just takes that light, that sparkle, and you go, you know what, I want to be like her,
Yes.
you know? And if you're wearing your hair a certain way, or you colored it a certain way, or you just have something about you, it inspires people and says, I can do that.
Yes.
And so each and every day, I know, are examples for people to say, you know what, that's doable.
Right.
You know, but you still got to be on the top of your game. That nobody cuts you slack.
No.
Oh, no.
You got to be on top of your stuff and be willing to step forward and be knowledgeable and accurate about what you're doing, because you are not giving substandard care because
no.
you happen to have more pigment.
Right.
Right.
It's
Never.
because you earned the right to have those
Absolutely.
letters behind your name. And so our organization truly is known for being well qualified and well educated physicians who are more than willing to do it for free.
Yes. That's wonderful.
That's a hard act to follow.
Isn't it?
What I was thinking about when Dr. Hines was speaking, for me, I echo everything that the two doctors have said, but for me, it's a connection with my patients. And I think a lot of family practitioners, we're the least sued of all the specialties, because your patients like you usually, and
Right.
usually people don't sue people they like, even if you made an error, no matter how minor or slight it may be, and you actually become part of that patient's family.
Yes.
And in my particular case, I have patients where I've delivered their first and second child. I take care of them, the mother and father,
Yes.
the grandparents, and the great grandparents. And I think
Wow.
my oldest patient to date is 104.
Wow.
So you become part of their family. So, and some of their children are looking at you not just as their physician, but also that they may want to be a physician,
Yes.
and that you're human. They can talk to you, make a connection, because a lot of patients, they don't connect with their physician.
Right.
I just had a patient yesterday that said, well, I want to come back to you. Can you be my primary care doctor?
Right.
I said, well, I can be your urgent care doctor if there's an urgent matter, because that's where I was working at the time.
Right.
So I think it's really important that patients are able to connect with their physician.
Right.
I think they're more likely to follow your advice and your
Oh,
rules
absolutely.
and regulations
Yes.
because they've made a connection with you. And that's the advice that I'd give my patients. I said, if you don't have a connection with your doctor, it's okay to ask for a different one.
Exactly.
It's okay.
Oh, absolutely.
I understand
So they are also looking at you in that respect as you're their physician, but it's also someone that they feel that they connect with, so they're more apt, hopefully, to do what you ask them to do.
Yes.
And then their children or the mother and father are looking at you. They may be on a path to medicine too, and they see someone that looks like them
Absolutely.
and says, well, if she can be a physician, I can too.
Yeah.
As you can tell, we are actively recruiting.
Yes.
But no,
All
I
the
mean,
time.
All the time.
if you look at kind of things that are happening in our communities, everyone's always talking about diabetes, everyone's always talking about high blood pressure, everyone's always talking about people being overweight. And so having the ability to have people that you can reach out and talk to,
Yes.
I mean, I will tell them just to we've all been broke. And people
Right.
think, oh, physicians, they make a lot of money, they drive lots. I can tell you exactly how to go through the sale paper
Right.
and go, this is what's on sale at
Right,
Kroger,
right.
and this is what's on sale at Albertsons,
Right.
to make your dollar stretch.
Yes.
And to be able to do that and eat healthy.
Yes.
And so one of the things that is a huge part of our organization is empowerment. So you have people that you can connect with directly and talk to, but then you take that knowledge and you take it back to your families. We did a great project with a high school in East Los Angeles, and we helped the students come up with their idea for what they wanted to teach their communities. And we just provided kind of the support and the background for that. But that's how you create that ripple effect. And when your communities are empowered and they're healthier, you're going to learn better in school.
Yes.
When you have more money, when you're not spending it. I mean, trust me, especially with what I do, I would love to put myself out of business
Right.
and go to a different career.
Right.
I love the privilege of what I do, taking
Yes.
care of very sick, very vulnerable babies.
Absolutely.
But if there's something I can do to help a mom be healthier when she gets pregnant,
Yeah.
So that we don't get to
so that we don't
point.
get to the point where you need me, I'm much more passionate about
About
that
that.
when
Right.
all is said and done.
Yes.
And so ask those questions.
Yeah,
Talk
sounds
to
like
you.
prevention. You're
Yeah.
speaking more on prevention.
speak-
Talk
Speaking your
talk
language.
to your doctor.
You're
And if
speaking
your
my
doctor
language.
doesn't, if you don't like your doctor, they make others.
Right.
I grew up in a house divided. There was half of the house that was all about Honda and half of the house that was all about Toyota. And somehow, we all made it out okay.
Right.
So if one doctor's not working for you, there are some other ones out there.
Yes.
No question.
And you actually mentioned something that I'm super passionate about in directing patients to where they can get something for less.
Oh,
And one of my passions is that most of our patients are women, but we do have some male patients as well. But you know, you have to sort of put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah.
And when people ask me, you know, is my hair really mine? I say, yes, it really is. I didn't buy it. It grew from the scalp.
There you go.
But you have to decide, are you going to spend the money to get a weave or get your nails and toes done? Or are you going to take that money and buy the medication you need for
Say
your
it.
diabetes?
Right,
Same.
right.
And you
So
really
can
have
keep
to
those fingers and toes that
Right.
don't
Correct.
fall off.
Right.
Correct. So you have to, that, you know, that's definitely into prevention.
Yeah, we
Right.
see
And
that
you have
all
to
the
sort
time.
of put it out there on their level in a language that they can understand.
Right.
And when they'll look back at you and say, well, if you put it that way,
Right.
I guess I won't get my nails done this week, and I'll go ahead and buy the healthier foods, or I'll go
Right.
ahead and spend whatever the copay is for my medication.
Yes.
And you empower them because they can see, well, she's looking at me. She can see. You just help
Looking
them.
at you and looking out for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And the education, I think, especially at Kaiser, which is all about prevention. But more importantly, you only have a certain amount of time to spend with each patient, right?
Right.
And so
A
the
short
key
amount of
is-
time.
Hello. Within a matter of seconds, when you walk in the room, you are making a connection with that patient.
Absolutely.
And from that point forward, whatever you say, if they've made the connection, they're willing to listen.
Absolutely.
And then they may not, and I always give people an out. I say, I see here that you smoke. I see perhaps that you have elevated cholesterol, whatever it is we might be talking
Right.
about. I don't hit it so hard in the beginning
Right.
because I've got to get to whatever it is I'm talking about.
Right.
But then the most important thing is I say, well, when are you preparing to quit? Is there something I can do to help
Right.
you quit? How about I give you this
Well, why
number
is it that you're still smoking?
and this referral?
Who's driving you crazy?
You know what I'm saying?
Let's
Exactly.
talk about
And
that.
so there is a connection there
Right.
that, because that's medicine, right? Because all of us, you know, I'm a big fan that medicine does not have all the answers.
Right.
Absolutely.
I used to be, I think, really smart in undergrad, but you know, I've lost it. But
Not hardly.
I've recognized over the years of practice is that you only can know so much. I don't care how smart you are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we all have an expiration date. Somehow, you are going to pass.
Right.
You just cannot live forever.
Right.
But the quality of your life starts from day one.
Absolutely.
And if you are willing to make the sacrifice to try to eat better, to drink more water, to get up and move, you have done more for your quality of life and decreasing your risk of heart attack and stroke and diabetes, just changing those things.
Just changing.
So thousands of dollars on drugs.
I mean,
So yeah, I'm a big fan.
But
that-
there's
yeah.
another point that we like to touch on. So everything is tied together.
Yes.
And we can tell you you need to eat better, you need to walk more, you need to, you know, take your medication. But one of the things that has become a bigger component of what we do as well is your mental and your emotional health.
Absolutely.
And there are so many ways that stress literally is killing us. And it can be a stressful job, it can be a stressful situation at home. And so also having the tools to talk and to communicate. As Dr. Hines was saying, we try to communicate, but we do only get those short snapshots. When we're able as an organization to go out in the community, you know, even as a neonatologist, it's nice to be able to just sit with someone and say, okay, so you've got this shoulder pain, but
Right.
what are you doing with your job that's making the shoulder pain worse, rather than me just saying, okay, take some ibuprofen, come back next week if it's not
Right,
better.
There you go.
But then you can dig a little bit deeper and say, well, I only have this job because of this.
Right.
And we're not always in a position to help you do that.
Yes.
But more and more we recognize you cannot untie your emotions from your health.
No question.
So you have to be willing to deal with frustration and deal with stress, deal with depression, deal with a lot of things that we aren't always comfortable talking about.
Right.
But there is a direct correlation.
And that's why you have to make that connection with your patient
Yes.
so that they feel that they can come and tell you anything.
And
And that yeah, for me, that's okay. If they feel that they can tell you anything, they will tell you everything.
I
And
like
you
that.
and you don't have to ask. They will come and they will just pour it out because they trust you and you've already made a connection.
I like
Absolutely.
that. I'm going to remember that. We're going to take a really quick break. These ladies are very fulfilling, and I'm very pleased that they're here. We're going to be right back.
Are you a diabetic? Need some energy? Need to quench your thirst? Try Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink, the only energy drink named suitable for diabetics by the American Diabetic Association. And it's now available with no calories, no carbs, no sugar, and no fat, and a smooth, natural blend of energy, vitamins, and minerals. Need to quench your thirst? Try Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink, the only energy drink named suitable for diabetics by the American Diabetic Association. And it's now available with no calories, no carbs, no sugar, and no fat, and a smooth, natural blend of energy, vitamins, and minerals. Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink is the healthiest, best-tasting energy drink around. For more information and online ordering with free shipping, please visit hiphopbev.com. Remember, Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink, suitable for diabetics, great for everyone. Are you a diabetic? Need some energy? Need to quench your thirst?
Be good is her name, and I sing my lion song and brush my mane. She would, and she could, so she pulled my lion's tail and caused me pain. She said lions are made for cages, just to look at and delight. You dare not let them walk around, 'cause they might just bite. She knows what she does when she dances round my cage and says her name. Be good, be good. Be good is her name. I trim my lion's claws and I cut my mane, and I would if I could, but that woman treats me the same. She said lions are made for cages, just to look at and delight. You dare not let them walk around, 'cause they might just bite. Does she know what she does when she dances around my cage?
We are back, and I have some sheroes with me. They are trailblazers, and they have enlightened us on so much today. I mean, what is it like to be around women that can offer so much and that are genuine and that are looking out for the best interests of all people, not just blacks, but all people? Isn't it a wonderful thing? I have Dr. Walker, Dr. Hines, and Dr. Chumley, and they're going to tell us all about this wonderful benefit that just happened last Saturday, right?
Yes.
Yes, tell us about the benefit.
Sure. So one of the things, and we've alluded to this in the earlier segment, being a physician requires you to work hard. And it's long hours, and it's studying, and it's dedication, and there are times, when the patients don't see you, and you're at home studying and reading. That doesn't change, even after you finish and become a grown-up.
Right.
But if you work hard, you've got to play hard. And if you're going to play hard, why not play with a purpose? So our gala is our signature fundraiser. It's how we put together our scholarships for our students. It's how we fund the programs that we offer to the community. and we had a Brazilian carnival theme.
Wow, I
this
can
year.
tell from the cover. This is a
Yes.
beautiful cover.
So, you know, there is so many different ways that you can heal your body. You can heal your body with laughter. You can heal your body with prayer. You can heal your body with music and with dance. And when I was talking to everyone that attended the gala, I said, you know, how many times have you been able to sing like no one's listening and dance like no one's watching? Just
Right.
have that freedom to have
Right.
fun. So we had actual Brazilian samba dancers. The men loved that part of the program, I
Of
think,
course
the
they
best.
did.
I liked it. It was nice.
Oh, I'm a past dancer, so if you like
you
to
go.
dance,
It was fun.
you enjoyed it
So-
as well.
Wow.
I love it.
Yeah, there were the feathers that went everywhere, and but it was also really exciting because people had fun giving.
Candy.
I think as a community, we are very spiritual. We are very connected. And when you see something that has meaning and you can be a part of it and you can participate, like I was thrilled that people were like, I want you to take this money and help some people.
Right.
People were giving us money with a smile on their
We
face.
raised over
We raised a lot.
$20,000.
Well,
in
just
one
that
day.
night.
Just that night.
Just
Yeah,
that
we
night.
had for the first time, we did something a little different. And we had a goal to raise $20,000
In less than 20 minutes.
in less than 20 minutes.
Wow.
And how fast did you do it?
12,
I think it was 10 or 12.
It was awesome.
That's amazing.
It was awesome.
And we actually had the visual. We had a thermometer, and so every time someone gave, the thermometer would rise. And we sort of had a little joke and said, you know, normally you don't want a fever when you go to the doctor,
Right.
but we want to make the temperature rise
Right.
to the 20,000, and we did.
And you
we
did it.
And we actually, I'm not that techie, but we had a lot of high-tech people in the audience,
Mm-hmm.
and we used our cell phones to send a
Amazing.
message
Right,
with
they
your
were texting.
name, and they text how much they wanted to give in their name. And I think everybody wants to see their name in lights.
Right.
Yeah.
And so their name was projected on the screen, and they could see who
Wow.
was giving and how much, and even had a little friendly table competition.
Wow.
See which table could give more than the
That
next
is
table.
Amazing.
So I think it's something that we're going to keep.
Absolutely.
I think it's a great idea.
Absolutely.
You're doing so much for so many people. You must come back.
Absolutely.
The time has just flown by.
Oh, we can't be done.
You're
no
done.
way. Oh, we didn't even get
Wow.
to tell you about all the community service programs
Oh
that
my
we do.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah, we have to
Mention
come
some
back.
of your partners and mention some of the community
Absolutely.
service, and please promise me that you'll come back.
Well,
Absolutely.
first of all,
Absolutely.
thank you for having us. I can't believe the
Thank you.
time flew by so fast, and we had a whole other discussion off air about some other great things. But we have been known for over 30 years for our work with breast cancer, and we partner with Susan G. Komen Foundation. We also partner with National Council for Negro Women. And additionally, we do work with the Genesee Center. We
Domestic
do a lot with
violence.
domestic violence. Our issues that we focus on have to do with women. So we've done work with the Lupus Foundation of America. Of course, we want to hit the core issues that affect African Americans. So obesity, high blood pressure, hypertension,
Diabetes.
diabetes.
And that's called our wellness series.
That's
We
a part
can't
of our wellness
forget, we
series.
have to
Mental
say this, is that we are, I think sometimes because we're physicians, if people think that we're only just, perhaps we're just kind of this blue-blooded organization creating a pipeline for more blue-bloodedness.
Right.
No, we're in Los Angeles on
Absolutely.
45th and Western. We're in South Central. We're at Locke High teaching
Absolutely.
nutrition. We are not afraid to be where most of us have come from. So I think that needs to get out there,
Yes.
that just
you can
because
pick up the phone and call us,
you can
and
call
we'll
us
come.
and let us know.
Absolutely. And we're also at the local churches as well.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Please, we must not forget to give out your information, how we would reach your association.
Absolutely. So you can go online and reach us at www.blackwomenphysicians.org. You can call us, area code 310-321-8688. I'm excited to say you can tweet us. And so it is at ABWP_DRS for doctors.
And Facebook.
And then we have two
Oh, yeah,
Facebook,
we got a Facebook
Facebook pages
Oh, I'm
as
gonna be
well.
liking somebody tonight.
Association of Black Women
Absolutely.
Physicians. So we're definitely, if you want to find us, we are here,
You're here.
and we want to serve.
Oh, wonderful. I would like you each to have a closing remark, comment for our viewers, and you'll be back. I mean, I would love to do a series every 6 weeks or so. Come in and let's pick a topic and tackle it.
Absolutely.
Sounds
Okay.
fantastic. Closing words. I think the best medicine is laughter. So laughter for me is the best medicine. I want to thank you for having us. I want patients to know they actually can go grade us at a site called healthgrades.com, and I encourage my patients to do that so that they can tell us how they like us, how good we're doing,
Right.
in case they can't get to our web page or our Facebook page. Any of their doctors, they can actually go to healthgrades.com.
Oh, wow,
So
that's
thank
good.
you so much
Thank
for
you.
having me.
Proud to meet you.
Well, I would say, as a gynecologist, I say that if you can't tell your gynecologist, who can you tell?
That's a good one.
Because I feel like we probably are some of the most intimate folks in the most intimate places
Right.
we can be.
Next to family practitioners.
This is true. I get a little deeper.
No pun intended.
No pun
No pun intended.
I know.
We have no sense of
I'm
humor
sorry,
here.
I am a
Absolutely not.
gynecologist. But I also wanted, I love the organization, and I love the fact that you've given us the opportunity to bring a voice to the things that we've been doing for such a long time. But I feel like remiss if I didn't say something about the young, wonderful pathologist, which is Dr. Karen Ellis, who has done a lot with regard to making sure that the benefit was so beautiful.
Oh, yes.
And she's done this for years and years, so I had to just give a quick shout out to her because we were talking about the benefit. But that's what I wanted to say. But I'm like the advocate, the mentor. Give me a call. Let me know if you're interested. I love young people, and I believe that I was given an opportunity through education. Someone saw something in me and said, I think that you got what it takes. And there's so many of young students out there like that.
Wonderful. Proud to meet you.
So I made the unwise choice of going last. I want you to remember that we are the Association of Black Women Physicians, but we are your family. And we are here as your sisters, as your mothers, as your daughters, to care about you and care for you. So call us. That's why we are here, and that's what we love to do.
I'm a crier, but I'm not going to cry. But that's so beautiful. I mean, it means a lot. It means so much, even for you to take your time to come to this show. When you have someone in your family that is a doctor, maybe it's easier for you to become a doctor. When you have a soldier, it's easier for you to become a soldier. Police officer, same thing, you know? But if we don't have anyone in medicine, it's very hard to go into that field. So you ladies are here to lean on, to be a crutch in a good way, to be a voice, and maybe to help someone get through.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Oh my goodness, what can I say? They're beautiful, they are knowledgeable, educated, and they look just like us. Can't deny that. Brains, beauty, and we have some OBGYN in the house, and we have someone that takes care of our precious little babies, and then we have someone that just takes care of everybody and has a 104-year-old patient. God bless that patient, and God bless these doctors. We want to thank you, and we're going to come back with our friend from Beverly Hills. Wet PR's in the house. We'll be right back.
'Cause I'm free. Satan, I'm free from your spell, yeah. Ooh, I'm set free. Satan, I'm free from your spell. And now that that's all over, you go down in burning hell. sets free, yeah. Oh, is free indeed. He can take the thrill away, y'all. And he'll be all you need, yeah. Free, yeah. Free from your spell. Satan, I'm free, yeah. Free from your spell, yeah. Now see, now that all that is over now, go on by yourself and burn in hell. Is that all right? There was a time when I didn't have no one, didn't have no love. Do you remember the love that we once had? Well, if I had the chance to love you again, I would make your heart forget I was ever there. If we forget the past, I know this time love will last forever, for always, for love. Ooh, yeah. I'm not coming home anymore. Does it matter? Well, if I had the chance to hold you again, I'd fill your heart with joy, make you remember I'm the only one for you. Yes, I would. Let's throw the bad memories out and make this the first day.
Hello, and welcome to Community with Me. We have a call-in guest. I have Cassandra Williams from Wet PR. She's here. How are you, Cassandra?
I'm behaving once again, thank you.
Oh, yes, that's good. We always like for Cassandra to behave. And on the line, we have our special guest, Stephen Richard.
Good
Hello.
evening.
Hey, Stephen.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, I just told them I'm behaving, but no one seems to believe me.
I wonder why.
Mr. Richard, I am so pleased to have you as a guest. We wish you could be here in person, but we understand that you'll be flying in for your show at home on Friday night and evening with Cassandra Williams. Tell us all about that. And you have 2 albums out that came out at the same time, but these are your 6th and 7th albums. Tell us all about that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me. Number one, I'm very happy to speak with you and let you know a little bit about what's going on with my journey as a musician. Basically, in May of this year, I released 2 new projects. One was entitled Perspective, and the other is entitled The Gallery Sessions. And this is the third time now that I've released two projects at the same time. I'm a musician who records quite a bit, and I'm always in the studio, and I just never like to just have things just stack up and go and say, oh, man, I should have released that, but never did. So what happens is I record just a lot of different types of music that at the end of every 2 years, I always have enough material to put out, and it ends up being two different projects, two totally different concepts. Perspective is totally different from the gallery sessions. So I try to get as many styles and sounds to let the listeners decide what they like, and just gives them more opportunities to pick and choose what they want to hear from me.
Well, that sounds wonderful. I understand that you just came off tour with someone very special that we all know and love. And can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I'm not sure. Who is
Someone named Larry Graham.
Yeah. Well, what can you say about Mr. Graham? What I call him, a consummate professional, and I just had the opportunity to just sit back and watch what he does. And he's been doing it so long, but what I remember most and won't forget was his energy and his interaction with the audience.
Right.
He really, really appreciates the audience. And, I mean, the guy is bouncing around like a 20-year-old. It's amazing.
Wow.
It's
That is
amazing.
Wonderful.
I just want to let the audience know that I personally called Larry Graham, and this is before Stephen became my client.
Oh, wow.
And it was such an honor. I've been knowing Larry like 30 years or more. And what made me really appreciate Stephen before I knew him was what Larry said about him.
Wow.
And he said, and I quote, he said, Candy, you're not going to have a problem with him. He's a professional, and he's humble.
Wow.
And he appreciates his talent as well as his craft.
Wow.
And I relayed that to his management. And I said, yeah, that had a lot to do with him being a client.
So you were chosen.
Very humble spirit, very,
Yes.
very professional. And to have someone at Larry's caliber to say that about someone,
Right.
There's going to be a lot of great things happening for Mr. Richard, and I'm just honored and privileged to be his publicist and have this opportunity.
Yes.
Well, I thank you. That means a lot coming from you, Cassandra, and from Mr. Graham. I'm humbled by that.
Well, that's wonderful. I understand that you were born in Zachary, Louisiana, and then you relocated to Houston, Texas, studied at Southern University in Baton Rouge, and you went there on a scholarship, yes?
I did, music scholarship.
Yes, and so you got your BA in communications, so you are smart and talented and educated, and you are going to be at home on Friday night. I can't wait.
I'm ready.
I can't
I'm
wait to
ready.
meet you. I am excited.
I'm looking forward to meeting you and to everyone who is going to be there. I was in California not long ago in L.A., and a wonderful time. I mean, I just take the weather. I will take you guys' weather any day. I mean, but on top of that, it's so refreshing to play a venue, to go to a new market, and to meet people and see the way they appreciate music. So I know what it's going to be like this Friday. I just can't wait to be a part of it.
That's going to be wonderful. I can't wait to get you in studio whenever you're here in town on a Wednesday. You're always welcome to come into the community.
Absolutely. I will take you up on that.
One other thing, I had a few other questions. I
Sure.
wanted to know what are some of your favorite artists and why?
I'm kind of all over the place. But for instance, I was just listening to, I was listening to Layla on the break when I was listening to, and that's one of my favorite songs, That Forever for Always. And then if we want to take it to Luther, who did, that as well. I I love Patti LaBelle. You know, I love Shaka Khan. I love Grover Washington Jr. He's one of my favorites when it comes to jazz musicians. I appreciate Duke Ellington, one of the founders of modern-day jazz. I appreciate and really dig Miles Davis, John Coltrane, Sonny Rollins, but even more so, it's people that I grew up with who no one will probably ever know. You know, those musicians that never left home or never toured,
Right.
but yet they were playing in town, and they allowed me to play on the set with them and taught me. Those are the guys and the women who I will never forget, and I'm very appreciative of.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Didn't I tell you he had a great humble spirit? You know,
It is.
Just great.
I
Just
can't
great.
wait to meet you. I really can't. I've heard so many great things about you, actually.
Uh-oh. You're going to have to see for yourself. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out. Mhm. Well, can you tell us about some of your immediate goals and some of your long-term goals that you have your sights set on?
Sure, absolutely. Short-term goals, with the help of Miss Cassandra, I'll be in L.A. and on Friday. So those things where I'm able to move to new places and play and present my music, my art to different audiences. That's what we want as artists.
Right.
We create the music, in my case, but we create it for people to hear and to listen and to enjoy. So it's that the short-term goal is to get in various markets where people don't know about me.
Right.
And then I look forward to leaving and then putting sort of my footprint down so next time people can say, oh, yeah, I remember Steve.
Right.
I got to go see him again.
Exactly.
So short term, that's what I'm really working on, and I appreciate, as I said, Cassandra for really, really working diligently to allow me to do that. And then second of all is to continue to make music and travel the world on a global scale to introduce myself to the world globally, and because music is universal.
It is.
And you don't have to speak the language. It's a beautiful thing. It's one of the few things that draws people together that might have an issue with each other. Is music. It just brings them together and makes them smile and dance.
It will. And I also understand that you had the opportunity to play for Mr. Nelson Mandela.
Oh, man. Yeah, I did. It was a tremendous experience. Number one, after all that he had been through, all the trials, he was very, very humble, very soft-spoken. And I never forget when this is weird, and it really doesn't, it's weird that I'm putting this in this conversation, but his hands were so soft when I shook them. Someone that has lived such a tough life,
Right.
To a degree, and has gone through so much. He had some of the softest hands I had ever shaken. So that just
Soft hands must mean soft heart, because
yeah,
he was a
absolutely.
remarkable man, and what an honor to have been able to play for him.
Yeah, and he was a big fan of jazz. So that's one of the highlights of my musical career, to be able to play for Mr. Mandela, absolutely.
And then I understand that you were invited to teach in France at the University of Paris.
Oh, wow, yes. That right there, I think, really changed my life because, I grew up in Houston, which is not a small town, but when you live in a certain place, and you're young, you kind of just see the world where you're at.
Yes.
And you don't really realize that you're very small in the big scheme of things, and it's a whole big world out there. When I went over to Paris and was able to go as a jazz ambassador, it opened my eyes, as I mentioned earlier, to people who might not even speak the language. Teaching at the university, they didn't speak the same language, a lot of the students, but when we played the same notes, and they could relate, and it was just a wonderful experience, and to be able to travel throughout France and to see the history and it was a tremendous experience, and very grateful for the late Mr. Alvin Baptiste, one of the world's greatest clarinetists, who brought me over to do that with him.
Yes. Well, I think all the things that you've done and your journey has made you relatable. The things that you've done, you know, teaching at the University of Paris, my God, and playing for Mr. Nelson Mandela must be so wonderful. Can you name any of the other artists that you've worked with that we can mention and maybe give a shout out to,
Sure.
living or not living?
Absolutely. The late, great Mr. Joe Sample was a gentleman who I've had the opportunity to share the stage with. Mr. Norman Brown, a wonderful guitarist, one of the baddest cats around. Mr. Boney James, everybody knows Boney on the saxophone, and a very, very nice, genuine person he is. Mr. Stanley Turntine, an old school. He passed away a few years back, but one of my favorite saxophonists coming up, and one of the greats in jazz, Mr. Stanley Turntine. I also shared the stage a few times with Mr. Grover Washington Jr. And you know, the list goes on. Mr. Branford Marsalis, you know, a lot of different people, but you know, it's just a privilege to, you know, I just enjoy playing. So, you know, I'm a fan of these people, so to be able to play with them is a privilege.
So is it true that when you work with the greats, you take a little piece of them with you?
Yes, yes, and it doesn't mean in like musically, not in the sense of maybe I like what he played, I'm gonna steal that.
All right.
But maybe it's the way that they approach something. Maybe a lot of times when we musicians get together, it's not even the music, it's the conversation before the music starts. You know, it's just the talking, and those are the times that I really enjoy and really pull things and put them in that Rolodex, if you will, that mental Rolodex, and call them back at times. But absolutely, even the children who I teach, pull things from them too, because they think of things I would have never thought about.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's tremendous.
Well, do you have any last comments you'd like to make? Or just time went by very fast, and I'm very honored that
you mean I gotta go? I'm just getting warmed up.
When you come into town, you must promise me that you're going to come here and grace our studio with your presence.
I absolutely will. And, you know, I want to thank you. I want to thank Cassandra. I want to thank my parents because without them, I wouldn't be playing the saxophone, because there are many times as a young person I wanted to quit. I want to encourage all of the young people who are playing instruments to keep at it. It really helps in all aspects of your life. So, you know, and it makes you a well-rounded person, whether they realize it at this time or not. I know I didn't. But if they could just hear someone a bit older who's been down that road, they don't want to look back and say, boy, I wish I would have continued. So just keep it up right now. Have fun with it. Create whatever you want to do on your instrument. And besides that, I want to thank everyone for listening and to let them know that my music is available online on iTunes. Just type in my name, Stephen Richard, StephenRichard. And I'm also in the Play Store with Google, Amazon Music, my website, StephenRichard.com. And as mentioned, I have 7 CDs that are available right now, so you can get to know a bit about me by listening to them.
Wow. That is wonderful. Well, you have a great publicist. She's my friend, and I know she's working hard for you.
I know she is, too. Absolutely, she is.
We're happy to have you in the community and can't wait to see you at home this Friday. What time is showtime?
8 p.m.
8 p.m. showtime, everyone.
Doors open at 7 p.m.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we're going to see you there, Mr. Richard.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a ball.
Okay. We'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you later, Stephen.
Okay, Cassandra. Thank you. Bye-bye.
My privilege.
Bye-bye.
So we had some amazing guests today. We had the sisters here, their sisters and their doctors. I want to say have the sisterhood for good. I thought of that and I wrote it. They're doing amazing things in the community. Dr. Walker, Dr. Hines, Dr. Chumley, and Dr. Jordan Harris. She didn't want to come on. She was shy today, but you know, we'll get her in here next time. She's a Delta also, so we're all tied in with Toastmasters and things like that, and it's a small world. I spoke to this lady today, Pharesee Hogan Rolls, and she's running for ex-Chief Bernard Park's seat in council. She's District 8. She's about the people. She's about cleaning up our district, and she's about the businesses. So we want to make sure we vote for her, for this beautiful young lady. This is her second time running, March 3rd, 2015. She's going to come in. She's also done so many things in the community. She has given approximately, through her company, Rise Financial Corporation, about $20 million back over the last 20 years. And I'll tell anybody, I went to one of her luncheons and she had a room full of bankers at the Walt Disney Concert Hall in the middle of the day. Amazing lady. She knows people, great connections, and she can make things happen for District 8. So we're happy that she has been here. She's a guest and she's a friend of ours, and she'll be coming back. And then we want to thank Wet PR as always,
My privilege.
bringing in quality people with a purpose, doing great things. And Cassandra, she's my friend now, whether she likes it or not. We talk often, and we want to make sure we embrace those. We sometimes need help, or if I call Cassandra and there's something wrong, she knows it. So surround yourself with people who really care about you and who have great intentions for you. And that's what we're doing here. The doctors did an amazing job, and they're going to come back. We appreciate them for coming in. And what about next week? We'll see what's going to go on next week. Do something great in your community. Collect a blanket or two and give them out to some of the homeless friends that we walk past on the streets who aren't as fortunate as we are at this day and time. We wouldn't trade places with them. I want to thank you for coming into the community, and we'll see you next week. Have a great week.